Well, goodness crikey bloody blimey, if it isn't a brand new theme park game brazenly announcing its existence to the world. Now, call me lucky, call me well connected, or just call me for tea, but I did manage to snag early access to the trailer, along with a sneaky first look at the game during a live session with the devs. So I can in fact confirm, this is the real deal. Not just some fever dream brought on by excessive theme park sim consumption. For those of you who frequent this channel or indeed the Planet Coaster community, the name Metaparks might ring a bell, and if it doesn't, frankly, you've been living under a particularly unthemed rock. Metaparks, for the uninitiated, is the winner of one of the biggest Planco contests to date. An active and frankly disturbingly talented member of numerous communities, he's renowned for conjuring up parks and attractions that are less mind-bending and more, why didn't I think of that and now I feel inadequate? Well, it turns out that over a year ago this sneaky chap secretly assembled a crack team of developers and artists to create what could be one of the most ambitious games of all time. And the familiar names don't stop there. We've got Lucky, who secured third place in that very same contest with his rather impressive Radicron station, and also Ginge, the fourth place winner of the Lakeside Vale contest, proving that even if you don't win, you might just get to build a virtual theme park for a living. Who knew? So it's safe to say this dev team is positively brimming with genuinely brilliant Planet Coaster builders, which for me personally injects a healthy dose of hope into this rather cynical existence. But enough waffling, we're not here for a therapy session. Let's feast our eyes on the reveal trailer and then naturally overanalyze it more meticulously than a single frame from any GTA 6 trailer. Wowee. If that didn't make you feel something, be it excitement or just the creeping dread of your social life disappearing, then I genuinely don't know what will. There's a considerable amount to unpack here, so let's get stuck in before I spontaneously combust from anticipation. First things first, the graphics. They're stunning. The game is unequivocally built in Unreal Engine, which immediately sets it apart from, well, let's just say, other games within the genre. Not only that, this engine opens up endless possibilities when it comes to systems like Nanite, Lumen, and Mass Framework. Now, I can't confirm they're using any of these, but the sheer potential of creating a world that's more visually detailed, realistically lit, and populated with more intelligent and hopefully less annoying guests than ever before is, frankly, limitless. Or at least limited only by the dev's caffeine intake. But I'm waxing lyrical about engine capabilities before we've even touched on the genre itself. It's flippin' multiplayer. Like, actual multiplayer. So not only can you collaboratively construct the theme park of your wildest dreams, or nightmares, depending on your friends, you can actually run around and experience it with them. We appear to see at least 4 players cavorting around together, which, to be perfectly honest, is more friends than I'll likely ever have in real life. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. A common affliction when faced with something genuinely exciting. Let's go through this step by step and dissect every pixel we can see. First up, and this is where I truly found a profound connection, a car park. Guys, a car park. I'm already sold. It would be even more fantastical if it were functioning, something we tragically never quite achieved in Planco, despite our fervent prayers to the parking gods, but we shall see. My fingers are firmly crossed for revenue-generating asphalt. Look at the level of detail in this coaster. You can see every single nut and bolt, which definitely makes me think there's going to be a big focus on realism. So far, ticking all the right boxes for me. I've already mentioned Lumen, but the lighting in this lighthouse shot isn't just stunning, it's positively moody. And we see rain. actual dynamic weather. We had to wait for Planet Coaster 2 for weather. Oh, and by the way, this resort building looks exquisite. Now we're treated to a double whammy in this next shot. Our very first glimpse at a flat ride, the Ferris wheel, alongside a time of day transition that, if you ask me, is rather fluid. This is quickly followed by another flat ride, the Carousel, in an amazing neon aesthetic. Once again, the lighting and reflections are so incredible, I'm half expecting to see my own cynical reflection. As we ascend to the dizzying heights of the hotel, we get a glimpse of the park's scale, which appears frankly enormous. This, looking distinctly like a work-in-progress park, boasts multiple themed areas and a large body of water. It looks like we've got a boardwalk, some kind of dark fantasy section, the obligatory Disney-esque castle plonked right in the middle, a sci-fi section complete with the iconic synthwave sunset, a personal favourite obviously, and it looks like possibly the nascent stages of some backstage or admin buildings. And then, this is where everything truly shifts on its axis: multiplayer. Now, obviously in Planco we could collaborate on parks, by which I mean one person did all the heavy lifting while the other offered moral support and occasionally placed a bench, but we were still desperately lacking the true online mechanic, building parks together in real time and then crucially, actually exploring them with your friends, because nothing says friendship like getting stuck in a virtual queue for 2 hours together. We've got what appear to be unique character models here, possibly even utilising metahuman technology, which, my friends, means character customization, baby. That'll be me lost for at least 3 hours, meticulously crafting the perfect avatar only to then cover them in a mascot costume. They're all carrying backpacks, which means we can accessorize too. Yes, queen indeed. My virtual wardrobe budget is already taking a hit. We then transition into some kind of gift shop and arcade, where everything looks interactable. And you know what that means, don't you? Midway games, baby. Prepare for countless hours of digital frustration as you fail to win that oversized plushie. The shelves are adorned with lanyards and what appear to be boxes, leading me to speculate rather wildly that collectibles might be a thing. Because what every gamer needs is another digital hoard. Parkour!
Parkour! Parkour!
We get our first solid look at some building mechanics in the UI, which I must say looks rather lovely and clean. We all know that's a hot topic after Planet Coaster 2, where the UI occasionally felt like it was designed by a disgruntled accountant. And here we actually get a delightful little nod to Meta's contest park, Radar Valley 2.0, named rather charmingly after my own Radar Valley. It's super cool, and frankly, I expect a royalty check. Or at least a free virtual ice cream. We've got animatronics, an animatronic toad to be precise, because nothing says immersive theme park experience like a giant amphibian. Now here we've got a whole new layer to peel back. A genuinely neat feature is the grid displayed behind each asset in the tray, offering a quick and convenient reference for scale. It looks like there's a veritable smorgasbord of scenery categories with respective subsections too, so hopefully we'll be spoilt for choice with a large catalogue at launch. We can clearly see 3 of our starting themes: Metaport, Realms of Magic and Psywave. Metaport is, at the moment, harder to speculate on. Realms of Magic, however, sounds delightfully straightforward. Your typical fantasy theme. Perhaps a touch of Harry Potter world, minus the questionable author. And Psywave was, let's be honest, entirely inevitable after Meta's masterpiece in the same style. And I am utterly delighted to confirm that we've got temperature in Celsius. Anything else would be, quite frankly, an act of barbaric defiance against the natural order of the universe. Now, these time-lapse cinematics, whilst undeniably beautiful, also serve as a rather potent demonstration of the sheer number of build parks we'll have at our disposal. My creativity, or lack thereof, is already terribly overwhelmed. Spoopy. This shot here reveals a few rather cool things. It looks like we've got laser tag and also a rather large sign boldly proclaiming pins, which would strongly imply that pin trading will be a feature, a popular aspect of Disney parks. With that, the collectibles, the clothes and the accessories, all combined with the magic of multiplayer, it genuinely feels like there's going to be a significant focus on how players interact within the park. Prepare for the digital fashion shows and competitive pin bartering. And then finally we reach the grand crescendo as a player approaches the Metaparks button. This once again heavily hints at a substantial amount of interactivity within the world. Some rather pretty coaster shots follow, and then, of course, the grand finale, a fireworks show. The fact that this is just a reveal trailer and still in early development truly underscores how much they've already accomplished and the frankly staggering scope this game possesses. It's ambitious to say the least, or perhaps utterly bonkers. We shall see. Now, I obviously carry a certain degree of bias, having the distinct pleasure of knowing a number of the developers, but that personal connection doesn't for a single moment detract from the undeniable brilliance of what we've witnessed today. If this game manages to come to fruition with even a fraction of the features that have been so tantalizingly alluded to, it could genuinely be a complete game changer for the genre. A digital revolution, if you will, but with more roller coasters. If you, like me, are now desperately craving to dive into this virtual wonderland, make sure to head over and leave a like and comment on the official trailer. Show them some love, they clearly deserve it. You can also lend your support to the game via the Kickstarter. I'll be leaving links to everything you could possibly need in the description below, because I'm nothing if not helpful. I will most certainly be meticulously following the game's entire development journey, so do stick around if you'd like to witness more of my increasingly unhinged commentary. And don't worry, I won't be offended if you subscribe. It's perfectly okay, really. Let me know what your esteemed opinions are in the comment section, and I shall endeavour to catch you all very, very soon.